everyone,
Hi, welcome back.
to Enlighten Me podcast with your hosts Mila,
And Lex.
and we're so grateful to have you here for another episode. But before we get started, as always, timestamps are in the show notes. So if you would like to skip ahead, go for it. If not, you want to listen to us chat along, then
Yap along.
we'll get started.
So first, kind of just want to give some like life updates. I guess what have we been up to? So what have you been up to the past couple weeks?
Still unemployed.
Woo!
Just kidding. I'm on summer break, but I feel like I'm unemployed. So I'm still, trying to make the best of it. I'm doing things throughout the day that make me feel somewhat like I'm having like a work day.
Work to do.
I feel like I am not. This is such like an American mindset, but it's like if I'm not working, I'm not productive. You know what I mean?
That's how we're raised, though.
I know. It's like so ingrained in me that if I just like lounge, I call it like rotting on the couch. If I do that all day, then I just like have so much regret.
I know.
For the whole day.
I know. But rest is productive. You have to remember that.
When you're resting 5 days a week? No. So that's why I'm like, okay, I need to occupy my time with busy work.
Well, you've been doing stuff for the podcast, though.
I have been. Yeah.
Yay. I love that for you and me and for us.
For everyone here.
For everyone involved.
Yeah. But other than that, nothing really exciting. I am going to Scottsdale in 2 days.
That's gonna be
on
so
Thursday. Yeah, so I'm excited for that, prepping for that, for a bachelorette party. Other than that, it's like the one thing I have to look forward to, so I'm ready.
That's exciting. And then Milo's gonna stay home with Nando.
Yeah, Milo will be home with Nando.
You miss his mom.
I know.
I'm really upset that you're leaving because all my friends are leaving this weekend.
Oh, really?
Literally everyone. Tanya, Parisa, Angel are going to visit their friend in Long Beach. You and Sam are both leaving. Somebody else I've been hanging out with is leaving. Everybody is leaving me.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, I have to watch everybody's freaking cat, apparently.
So she's busy.
Well, also, actually, Cole's coming to visit my brother. He's coming to visit this weekend, so I am excited to see him. So I'm trying to find fun things for us to do. So we're maybe gonna go to this like event on Friday night. I want him to go roller skating with me in the new roller skating rink downtown.
Oh, downtown, yeah.
So we'll see if he'll be up for that. And then there's like that day party on Sunday on his actual birthday. So see if maybe he wants to do that.
Nice.
I have to try to fill the weekend with fun things because when we went to see him, he filled it with fun things.
Right, return the favor.
And usually my friends are here, but no one's gonna be here, so I'm gonna try my best to make it fun.
That's okay. You can have some bonding time.
It'll be fine. But I'm excited, and then yeah, I'll be watching Angel's Cat.
Cool.
So it's gonna be a kind of interesting weekend for me. Usually I'm used to being with everybody, so
right.
It's just crazy that you're all leaving on the same weekend.
I know.
When I found out they were leaving, I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll hang out with Mila and Sam. And you guys are both leaving too, separate trips. But
yeah,
I'm like, what the hell? How does that happen?
I guess it's just a popular weekend to hang out.
I guess so. So, anyways, what have I been up to?
Crickets, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same bullshit I've been up to.
Right.
I feel like happy right now. I feel like life is good. I feel like the universe has really been showing me my path, and I've been like really mastering the art of detachment, which is kind of what we're talking about today. And that's been cool. So I feel like I'm on like a new kind of spiritual path right now, which is exciting.
Good. Good for you.
It's always fun when you have like new seasons of like spiritual growth, and I'm like learning new spiritual lessons. So I'm enjoying that right now.
Okay, can we talk about the freaking full moon on Sunday, July 21st? Tell me why I was like dead all day. Didn't do anything, but I was just like, I could not think clearly. I was forgetting stuff for the picnic. I forgot how to freaking text clients, and I'm just like, what is going on with my mind? It was so scrambled. I was so tired, and I'm just like, okay.
Well, and Mercury's in retrograde.
Is it right now?
Or it's like the pre-shadow period, so it's about to be, or something. I don't remember exactly when it does, but I know that this full moon was supposed to be pretty intense, and Let me tell you, it was. Last week was crazy, but I'm not gonna get into it. I will just say it is a transformative full moon. I will say that.
Uh-huh. And are you feeling okay about that? Or
I am.
yeah?
I told you I am feeling okay about it. I feel like the universe is showing me my path, which is exciting. So
Okay.
and like we've talked about before, uncertainty, even though it can be scary, is also like an exciting thing to like not know what could happen. Like it could be anything. So I'm kind of just open to possibilities. I feel like I've been asking for signs and I've been getting signs, even if it's not necessarily what I thought it was going to be. I'm like, oh, okay, shift, pivot. We're
Yeah.
pivoting in this direction now.
Right.
So, yeah, it's been cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Stop looking at me like that. Anyways, kind of shifting into our topics for the day, which is kind of what I already started talking about. We kind of wanted to talk about like reframing things. So when things happen to us, how can we change our perception of those events? Like, we all go through different hard things, disappointments, rejections, redirections. How can you change your perception of that so that you can use it for good, basically? So, and we've talked about this a little bit before, like kind of like reframing how you think about things, like with our anxiety episode, and like you talked about like with excitement, all of that. So, yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about like how can you reframe things when you're going through a hard time. How can you use that for good? And so, for me, I just always think, no matter what happens, like it's meant to happen, right? So like whether that's good or bad, or it's how you perceive it. So like you can't control what happens to you. You really cannot control things in life, no matter how much you think you can. You can't.
I wish I could.
We wish we could, right? But the way that you can control things, and this is what I've learned like through manifestation and everything, is maybe you can't control the exact outcome, but you can control how you see it, which then changes your mindset, changes how you feel about it, which then brings you more positive outcomes, right?
That part.
So it's really about how you think about things. And obviously, some things are harder than others to change your perception about. But I will say that when you can learn how to not only change your perception, but also kind of detach from the outcomes, like that's when you're going to see the most positive things and growth. And so like for me, I've been experiencing that a lot lately, detaching from things and kind of just seeing what happens. And let me tell you, it's been crazy, but it's been good. It's been good though. I mean, I'm trying to see how I can use examples without
spilling tea.
Yeah. But there is, one situation that I'm going through where like I knew kind of it was going to happen, like a situation with my family. And I kind of knew like it was going to go this way, and I knew it was going to be hard, and I was prepared for it, but also was like scared. And then I decided to like detach from it, and now like even though those things are happening, I'm still just like, you know what, whatever, like it's going to work out how it's supposed to work out. And I feel like that's been really helping me, because when you try to control the situation, you're just going to give yourself more anxiety, and you kind of just have to let things happen, let it flow, let it go. And that's kind of the path that I've been on lately. And yeah, just like detachment. Like, what's your experience with like detaching from things? I feel like you're pretty good about that. Honestly.
What?
Yeah, I feel like when you manifest, you're like very much like, this is what I want, but like, see what happens.
Well, I'm glad you see it that way.
My perception.
Okay, you're right. When it comes to manifesting, fine, easy. But when it comes to real life situations and circumstances, no.
Yeah, that's hard part.
Not anywhere near detachment. I'm like, that is like probably the hardest thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you seem like so go with the flow. Like you're probably the most go with the flow girl I've ever met.
I am, but I'm in my mind a lot. I know. That's where you can't see it. You can't see it.
That's true.
I could put on a good face.
Good at masking.
But actually, no, sometimes my emotions are all over my face.
When you're upset.
But
biting your nails.
biting my lip, biting my nails, RBF all the way.
Yeah.
No. But I think what gets me is like just the overthinking aspect, not so much like the anxiety around it, but it's like, okay, well, I'm thinking of like so and so outcomes, and then I'm thinking about, well, why would that so and so outcome happen? And then it's like a whole spiral of like if what's,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
unknown.
Yeah. Well, that kind of reminds me of that scene in Inside Out where like the anxiety is like trying to like write all these like things that could go wrong in
And
like
I
scenarios.
resonate with that so
But
hard.
it's like, why do we do that? Like, it's not actually protecting you. Like, it's really not. It's just making you go crazy. Like,
I know.
And so instead of that, how you can change your perception is like, okay, what can go right? And that's really hard to rewire your brain to do that. But and it does take effort. But after you do it enough, it does get a little bit easier.
You know what? It also depends on what phase I am in my cycle.
Ooh,
because right now I am about to start my period any one of these days, and my mindset is just so negative.
It is hard sometimes to get out of that.
And so when I'm in my follicular phase and my ovulatory phase, I'm like, who cares? I can detach from that. The world's gonna end. It's fine. We have 3 more days. Like, it's okay,
That's interesting that you
But when I'm in my luteal phase, I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this happening? Why do I feel like this? Why am I overthinking this?
Yeah.
It's just like eating me.
This is a great like reminder for me of like what I was literally going to talk about today too, is darkness and how you can use the darkness for good. So like we are supposed to have those times, and especially as women with our cycles, there's a reason why we have different thought processes at different points in our cycle, and it's like to use that energy, right? So like when you're going through darkness, like you have to allow time for darkness sometimes. You can't have dark without the light, and you can't just be toxically positive, like have you heard that term, toxic positivity?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you can't just always be like everything's fine, it's great, it's good. Like you kind of have to embrace the darkness sometimes and feel it. And so something that I've been doing to do that, because I saw this on a TikTok and I don't remember who posted it, so I'm not trying to take credit, but I already do this, and it kind of just like put a name to it or like a strategy to it, I guess. But listening to music that'll make you feel a certain type of way to help you feel those feelings and process them and get them out. So like I know we talk about like, knowing your darkness threshold. Like you don't want to listen to only dark things and like make yourself sad or depressed, but sometimes you have to. So like what I've been doing is like I'll make a playlist for the mood and let yourself really feel those feelings and like get into that darkness mindset and like process it so that you can then let go of those feelings.
Yeah.
And so I saw that on a TikTok and I already was doing it before that. So I'm like, that's what it is. Like, that's great. So like they talked about using music to like manifest things because it helps you to get into the state of that emotion. So you can use it for positive things. You can use it for like, oh, I need to listen to some like pump up music for the gym, right? Because that'll make you feel that feeling and help you to push yourself in the gym, right? So the same thing with like sad music. Like sometimes you need to let someone make you sad and feel those emotions and like resonate with that and cry it out, and then you can then release those emotions and like process them and then transmute them for good. So that's what I've been kind of learning is like alchemy. Have you heard of that?
Alchemy,
like transmuting negative energy for good.
I've heard of that, but is that the name?
That's kind of the term for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I haven't heard the term for it.
I haven't learned too much about it yet, but that's like one of the things I've learned is like using bad situations, using like hard things that you go through and letting yourself feel those things. Don't push it away. Like feel it, experience it, and then you can let it like pass through you basically and then ask to like transmute it for good. Because every bad thing that happens, you can make something meaningful out of it.
You can.
And that, I mean, I learned that too when I was in college because we had to like, I had to write the whole fucking paper, 20-page paper on a bunch of stuff, like these different books we had to read. But one of the things was your perception. So like, it was all these different stories of real families that have been through hard things and like really devastating things, trauma, loss, all these things. And a little technical difficulty for a second. So I was saying, yeah. So what I was learning about in my class. So it was about how like all these different families have been through all these different things, hardships, loss, trauma. And the one thing that decided like whether or not these families were going to thrive or they were going to basically crumble or like people were going to, do well or not was their perception of those events or their ability to make meaning from those events.
Wow.
And I see it all the time, like in my, field of work. But yeah, so like it really does make a difference. Like your mindset and how you perceive things, or how you like identify with things that happen to you. If you kind of are in like a victim mindset of like, oh, this always happens to me, like this only would happen to me, like why? And sometimes you have to feel that for a bit, but if you stay stuck there, then like you're never gonna move on from that. You're never gonna heal from that loss. And so like you kind of have to find a way to make meaning from it, even if it's just like small things. But like I don't know, everything happens for a reason. And I know that's like sounds cliche and I say it all the time, but it's so true. Like
Yeah.
the more I've gone through life, the more I've seen like things from years ago that I'm like, oh, that's why that happened. So that this would I would be on this path, and you know, I'd meet these people and this would happen, and I would learn this lesson, and I wouldn't be where I am today without that, you know? So it is really important to think about how you're perceiving what's happening to you.
I love how you bring up the victim mindset, because that's how I feel in my luteal phase.
You're like
the world is against me. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like a little kid.
Yeah, I feel like a little
Yes.
kid. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Nando.
Yeah, I feel like my little teenage self sometimes when I'm in luteal. I'm just like
Very bratty.
brat summer.
Brat girl summer.
Literally.
Coming at you once a week, every month. But yeah. No, it's a really good interpretation. Thanks for bringing that up. Because, you know, I need that reminder for myself too sometimes, to like collect my thoughts, you know, realize, honey, the world's not not attacking you right now. It's you against you, baby girl.
It's literally you against
So
you.
like, own up to your shit, change your mind. Tomorrow's a new day, new attitude.
Yeah. But at the same time, you have to let yourself feel it too. Like if those emotions are coming up for you, it's okay to like feel them and be sad about it. You just can't stay stuck there, because that's not healthy. That's not going to help you move forward on your path, you know?
Yeah. But, well, I'm just saying, because like I'll be in that kind of mood for a couple of weeks, not really realizing that I'm like stuck in that mood. Does that make sense? Because I'm just like going through the days like huffing and puffing and so negative, and then you know that's not okay. So
you start to notice it. You're like, okay, I don't feel like myself.
Like, why am I being such a bitch right now?
Literally, I'm like, why am I being so mean to everyone? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we really just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I feel like, you know, especially with everything going on in the world right now, like it's easy to get caught up in things and like be anxious. I mean, obviously we talk a lot about anxiety here, but be anxious, be, you know, just worried about what's going to happen, be like pessimistic and just be like, oh, well, fuck it, you know, everything is bad or whatever. But if you can change your perception to be like, you know, what are we all learning from this? That's another thing I was going to say, was like, instead of being like, why is this happening to me? You kind of shift that to like, what am I learning from this? What can I learn from this to push me forward on my path? And so like another thing, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, but like another mindset thing is like if you're stuck on the same level in life, like you feel like you're not moving forward, you're like, why am I stuck here? Why do I keep having to learn the same lessons? Why am I going through the same hurts? Why am I like, again, it's just stuck on this level? It's because there's something you still have to learn there. So you kind of have to go in and go into yourself and be like, hey, what am I not learning that's keeping me stuck on this level? How come I can't up level to the next right now? Because there's still something you have to learn here, whether that's like your fault or not, or it's just like the universe wants to keep you there to learn a certain lesson. Like instead of being impatient about it, just be like, all right, being present, accepting where I'm at and what I'm supposed to be learning right here, right now. That's going to propel me for my future, for my next season, like we talked about before, instead of like worrying about the next season. Focus on the season you're in so you can be prepared for the next season.
Oh boy, do I have some experiences with that.
Let's hear it.
No. That's probably good for another episode for holding grudges.
Oh, we do. We're gonna.
So we're not going to talk about it right now.
We're going to talk about that soon, though.
But keep an eye out for future episodes about grudges.
Forgiveness.
Yes, forgiveness. Our good friend.
Our favorite friend.
But yeah, no, it just sparked a few ideas in my mind. And you know what's crazy about that is that like you don't even realize that that's most likely the intention and the reason why you are continuing to be put in certain situations.
Because you're stuck being a victim. So it's like hard for you to see what the purpose is of it. So you're just like, oh, why is this happening to me? And I've been there, you guys.
No, exactly.
Like so many times I've been there where I'm just like, fuck, like life sucks. Like, why is this happening to me? Why would the universe do this to me? But every time I've learned to like change my perception about it and like detach and let go, I'm like, it's so much more freeing than being sad and like stuck about it and just being like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. What's supposed to happen is gonna happen. Like, let it flow. What can I learn from this? How can I use this for my benefit? How can I transmute this, alchemize this for my good, for my journey? So yeah,
I love it.
we're in our detachment journey, our detachment
It's
era.
a process. It's a
It is.
process.
It
It's like
is.
a lifelong process. You're not gonna get it overnight.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, no, honey,
Because
no.
if that was the case, we would all just be frolicking around.
Can we frolic? I need a good frolic.
I know.
We need to find like a field of flowers, like we did that one time.
Oh yeah, on the side of the road. Yeah, that was fun.
Stop and smell the flowers. Stop and frolic.
You know what I would love to do for an episode? I want to do like an anonymous what's the term? Dropbox or something? Or like hotline or like DM. Well, it's not really anonymous if it's DM, but like, a way to make it anonymous. And have you guys share stories. And then we can relay them on the podcast and give our opinions and advice from your story.
Yes. And if you can just send it anonymously if we'll figure that out, or we can just keep it anonymous if you don't mind us knowing who it's from.
Yeah, totally.
We won't share your information unless you tell us we can.
Your secrets are safe with us.
Yes. That's a good idea because I feel like so many people I've talked to have been like, oh, I want to share this on the podcast, or I have things I want to say. So I would love to be able to just like share people's stories and say what I want to say about it.
Yeah, so look out on Instagram for something, maybe within the next couple of weeks, about sharing your anonymous stories, and then we'll pick a few. We'll probably do a couple episodes. We'll pick a few, read them out loud, give our little spiel on it. Just because, we love to share our experiences, but
like you guys have so many interesting stories too.
Our listeners have, their own experiences, and I'm sure people would love advice and just to hear other people's stories to, feel like we're not alone.
Feel like you're not alone, for sure. Because we're all going through something. We've all been through shit. And like sometimes when you do hear that from other people, it makes you kind of shift out of that victim mentality and be like, okay, it's not just me. We're all going through things, and how can we like be there for each other through that and use our stories to like help each other heal.
Exactly.
I was gonna say too, I forgot. So that book that you let me borrow, the light worker one.
How'd it go?
I'm not done with it yet, but it's really good, and I do want to talk about it in an episode, but I want to share this one part because I feel like it is applicable for like what we're talking about today. So it was saying why light workers need dark energy sometimes. So just a background, like what like a light worker is. It's just basically like somebody who is here to like bring love and light and like help others through things. But we also have to go through a lot of our own hard things in order to be able to resonate with others and like understand them so that we can help, right? And so this really got me this like little excerpt, and I feel like you guys will like it. So it says, at times light workers will find that although the effects of dark energy may not feel good, limited periods of darkness can be beneficial. Dark energy has its time and place in a light worker's journey. Dark energy based on your emotions will force you to retreat and can indicate a period of healing. Within each and every one of us is a soft, soothing, dark space where we can be tucked in tightly and take the time to convalesce. Because we are never alone, our guides and loved ones in the spirit world will accompany us there while we repair our spirits after trauma. Yeah. So what do you think of that? Like the part that really stuck out to me was like there's a soft, soothing, dark space. Because sometimes there is like a comfort in being sad and like just being alone by yourself and like feeling it,
Yeah. I do like that. I was kind of thinking while you were reading that, I just got like a little thing in my head. Like ego death? Is that what it's referring to?
It could be. Yeah.
Or what do you think?
And yeah, I mean ego death is really just like changing your perception of things instead of like taking it personally. It's okay, how can I use this energy for that, right? So like sometimes you need to have that period of darkness and realize it's not about you. It's about like processing it so that not only you can feel better but to help others who are also going through dark times. Because, we all go through dark stuff, and I feel like it's easy to just attach to that and just really, like I said, be in victim mentality, or be like just kind of stuck with that and just feel like everything sucks. But when you can change that and be like detachment and realize, all these energies are here for a reason to teach me something, it kind of makes it more beautiful. Because for me, like, I've always said this, but like there is pain and beauty. Or no, there's beauty in pain. Because even though it's painful and it sucks, like it's still a beautiful thing, and there's a reason you feel that pain. It's because something beautiful maybe is gone, or whatever it is. There is beauty in the process of healing too, and like who you lean on in that time, what you learn about yourself, what you learn about like how you can get yourself out of those times, like how you can show resilience. Like there is a lot of beauty in going through painful things, and I think that's kind of also what it's trying to say, if that makes sense. And then what this part says, let's see. Okay, so this is talking about like grief. And it was saying feelings of sadness, isolation, and emotional pain are to be expected, but also be aware that during this time you'll be guided through the internal darkness to a place where you can work through the grieving process and heal your energy. Because light workers are naturally composed of more light than dark energy, it's perfectly okay to settle into the darkness for a period of time. Once the healing process is complete, you will emerge back into the light in a state of acceptance. And that's for me kind of where that whole like music thing came in. It was like, okay, let me go into this darkness, really dig it up and feel it, process it, and now come back out into a state of acceptance and like moving forward in my journey. And then also, yeah, like it talks about, being pushed into the darkness so that you can be of service to others in need. Because like if you don't understand darkness, how are you going to help people who are in darkness?
That's why you're so good at your job. No, for real.
Thank you.
You have so much experience like working with the people that you do.
There's a lot of darkness.
Yeah. And so I feel like that just correlates to your everyday life, and so you now know how to soothe yourself, in periods of grief or darkness, because you work with that daily.
Exactly. And I see how it can change all the time.
Yeah, me on the other hand, I'm like, what?
This is too much.
Like I don't really know how to do that. Like I can process my own emotions, but when it comes to helping people do that, I'm not your number one gal to go to. I'm so sorry.
Really? I mean,
yeah.
I feel like you have a lot of insight and wisdom though too.
I'm just not feeling confident about it.
I feel like you do know things though, and maybe it's like harder to like tell people that one-on-one, but you say like, wise things here on the podcast.
Yeah.
And you learn about a lot of things.
Circumstances. That's true. That's true.
I love that we both have like different knowledge about different things that we can bring to the table, and it's fun. It's fun to talk about, and that's why this is called Enlighten Me. We enlighten each other.
We do. Every episode, I'm like, what?
And I learn things from you about plants and crystals and energy.
Yeah.
And clearing energy.
Yeah. Those are my strong suits.
And business stuff, because I don't know how to do all that shit she does. She's a business queen over here.
Yeah.
She's a boss girl.
Boss ass bitch. Bitch.
Sure. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like I know today was kind of like a ramble sesh, but that's kind of how we went into it. It was like we just had like different things we kind of wanted to bounce around with and see where it went.
Right.
So,
I mean, it all kind of meshed together in one way or another. So
I hope you guys got something from it though. And I would love like if any of this resonated with any of you guys, if you would like reach out to us and tell me what you liked about it, and like maybe share a story. I would love to hear it. Even if you don't want to share on the podcast, I would love to hear your stories. So, and I know Mila would too.
Yeah. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please. Each of the episodes will be posted on there for you to watch if you're not already watching it on Spotify. And then if you can, please rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. There should be like a little star. Just push on the star and give us how many stars you think we are worthy of. Yeah, so we would really appreciate that as we are trying to grow our platform in all ways possible.
And we really appreciate your continued support. Like, always going to bring that up because you guys are amazing and you've been very supportive with everything. And just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. And also get excited because we have some exciting guests coming on.
We do.
We have different topics coming up. So, like, we have a guest soon that's going to talk about, like, dating and being single for long periods of time and, like, kind of what her experience has been with that. And I feel like it's going to be funny. You guys are going to have a good laugh, I think, with her. And then we have another guest coming from the Wellness Hub, Amani. So I have so many questions for her.
I know, me too.
So I'm really excited to have her on. I feel like that's gonna be a good, like, spiritual episode. So I'm excited to hear her thoughts. And then we have some other interesting people coming down the line. So we're so excited about that. We just are working on getting new equipment. That's why it's taking so long. But
yeah,
they will be on the show soon, and I'm excited for you guys to meet them and hear their experiences because they have some good stories to share too. So
absolutely. And if you are ever interested in scheduling, I don't really like to call it interviews. I need to change the name of that. But if you want to be a guest,
if you want to schedule a yap sesh with us,
if you want to be a guest on the podcast, go to our Instagram. On our highlights, we have a Let's Collab highlight. Click on it. We have a link for you to schedule to come hang out with us. You can always shoot us a DM too on Instagram if you're more comfortable with that. We can schedule that way as well. But yeah, we're always more than welcome to have anyone come on.
We like to hear your stories, and everybody has different perspectives to share. And we want to hear that and, like, be able to have discussions with people about those things. So
yes, I'm excited.
Please.
Without further ado, we're gonna wrap this one up. Okay, get it, girl.
I'm in a silly mood today, you guys.
It's a silly girl summer.
It is a silly girl summer. It's a brat summer. It's a silly summer. Yeah.
Okay, we need to go before she starts acting all cuckoo. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, like, follow, share, comment, repost, all the things. We are so grateful for you. We'll see you guys on the next one with love and light. Bye.